Good afternoon. My name is Alina Shevtsova. I am an immigration attorney from Brooklyn, New York. In today's legally speaking seminar, I would like to talk to you about what to do and if you have any solutions if you overstayed your visa. This is a very common situation. When a person enters the United States legally and then for variety of reasons does not go back, and as a result, the person is in overstay status. Well, there's no real status, but that's what happens. The person overstayed. So I very often have people reaching out to me asking, can you do anything for me? Well, it depends. Well, the first obvious solution to the question if you overstayed your visa is to see for how long you overstayed. If you overstayed for more than, let's say, 6 months, then you need to really look into your solutions. But you overstayed for less, there might be something that can be done. The reason for overstay is very important as well. Did you have a medical condition that prevented you from going back? Did somebody try to handle your application and they made a mistake? Somebody did not file your forms on time? So if those situations are present, then you might be able to be excused from overstaying in certain situations. Of course, if you're applying for something else. But if not, then you need to look into broader spectrum of reliefs available, if any, of course. So the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is what forgives? What applications would forgive the overstay? Of course, if you are an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, let's say you are a parent of a U.S. citizen or a spouse of a U.S. citizen, the overstay, no matter how long, will be automatically forgiven to you if you are applying for adjustment of status. It's 245, I believe 245K article of immigration laws. So that will be forgiven. Marriage to a U.S. citizen, or if you're a parent of a U.S. citizen, immediate relative of the U.S. citizen, not lawful permanent resident, only U.S. citizen. Then, of course, there are such reliefs as UTS statuses. If you qualify for one of them, then, of course, also overstay will be forgiven to you, no matter how long the overstay was. There are also certain exceptions to the overstay. For example, you overstayed your visa for less than 6 months and you are able to apply for adjustment of status, let's say based on employment, in employment category. And as a rule, it will be connected to self-petitioning, because otherwise you simply, under the current processing times, will not have you will have more than 180 days of this overstay. But let's say you want to petition for yourself and you have a pretty solid petition, but you have this gap in your status of less than 180 days, you do have a gap. However, under 245K, this gap of less than 180 days will be forgiven to you, okay, in connection with an employment-based petition. But here how it works, that forgiveness. You either overstay or you work illegally during the time. You cannot have both. If you have both, you overstayed and worked illegally, then the gap will not be excused. If you came to the United States long time ago and someone tried to petition for you before April 30th, 2001, and in December of 2000, you were physically in the United States, the entire period of overstay will be forgiven to you. It's 245I exception, right, or grandfathering clause. So, and one more thing, it's cancellation removal. If you overstayed for more than 10 years, you've been physically, let's say, in the United States for 10 years, and now you have a qualifying family member for whom you can show a hardship of a certain kind, in immigration court proceedings, you will be able to apply for what's called green card with a judge or cancellation removal. That's another way to deal with the overstay status. And finally, there are special immigrants, for example, children under 21 who qualify for special immigrant juvenile status, for example. Their overstay will be forgiven to them as well, because they're special immigrants. And there are some other limited categories of special immigrants who might be able to benefit from this provision as well. So that's about that for overstay. Unless there are very limited, very specific situations and you have other things going on with your case that will qualify you for this or that relief, or maybe you can file a motion to reopen. Sometimes if you try to submit certain papers to immigration and it didn't work out. So I would say that in every case, especially if you have an immigration history, you need to speak with a lawyer, because the lawyer might see solutions that you might not. And of course, you can read more about this and other aspects of immigration law on our website, www.shaltsova.com. Thank you.